In creating the outdoor classrooms and the other program elements along this route, we have used a series of technologies. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. We really concentrated on solar, and we talked about it in terms of photovoltaic and daylighting. And you can see down here, but I'm sure you know. Beyond that, we're going to try to use daylighting by using solar tubes, which amplify outdoor light. We also are very encouraged about current development in collecting wind power. Technology in solar and wind turbines has changed from these directional ones that have to sort of chase the wind down to multi-directional that can take multiple directions, multiple speeds. That may work in Illinois and out in the Midewin. We have looked into a number of water conservation technologies for you. Two that you'll see that we're suggesting might be immediately useful to you is compostable toilets, and the other one is rainwater harvest, especially for non-potable uses on these sites. So I'm going to jump right into the sites. We're going to start at the Iron Ridge site. But we propose that you actually enter farther north. And this will give us a chance to decompress and sort of wind our way. And here at this site, what we're proposing to do is convert 3 of the TNT bunkers to people spaces. This first bunker we are going to turn into a public contact station. We selected 2 others for the other 2 program elements at the site. The exhibit space. And so we did some research into the construction of these. They actually are concrete, put-in-place concrete arches. They're tight across the bottom. That means that you can remove the end wall on either side. And so for this first one, you can see, and right now, this bunker, this is all burned up. It's completely covered. This side is open, but it has a concrete wall. So what we're proposing to do is to remove both end walls, remove the berm on one side so you can get right through it. Glaze.
We removed the berm from the north side and opened up the views to the north and put in a glass facade there. It was efficient for someone, and that way you can maintain a passive cooling system without having to mechanically cool the space.
And so what we did is we added some PVs to provide the convenience power here. And in the other side, we'll go back to the plan for a second, we plan to install some of the composting toilets that we talked about. So we've made a nice little compact visitor center with minimal disruption to the site. And actually, we've saved the Midewin money because they're paying between $30,000 and $45,000 to remove these. So if you don't remove them, maybe we can restore them. Moving on to the next bunker, we plan to convert. This one we'll use as an outdoor classroom. This one is, we're touching it absolutely minimally. We think we can add a fireplace seasonally using the vent that is required to dry the TNT. We think that we can seat about 60 people in this environment. One thing we are changing, though, is we think, while it's nice to have this environment, but in this weather it'd be great to go in a cool place, and it'll extend the season because it'll stay warmer as it gets cold. We think there are a lot of days here in Chicago where you should be doing this interpretation, having a class outdoors. What we've done is we've taken the side of the bunker and we've turned it into an amphitheater. And so here's our seating. We won't change the profile. We'd like to salvage limestone from the Prairie. We also added a shade. We're anticipating that would be fabric, and we're using it also to collect water, again, for the non-potable, just for convenience use. And so you can see we've really not changed it at all. And finally, we took a third adjacent bunker to turn into a permanent exhibition space, a permanent interpretive place. And to do that, we simply removed both ends. This is an outdoor open air. And the only change we're making beyond that is we added an observation deck to the top. So that when you're in this bunker, this is sort of your self-interpretation. You'll be able to observe the prairie. And so we propose to put a outlook on top of it. We don't plan much improvement between them, mostly accessible paths. We want people to feel like they're walking through the healing environment. Our other site. Again, we want to do light touch. We've kept the existing parking. We put in some compostable toilets here, low profile, low touch. And then, so we saw this tree row, which was left by some farmer, as kind of a gateway. When you're there, you can look at the prairie restoration, and you can look at the manufacture of prairie plants, and see them how they, it's sort of the materials in the product at one time. And so we put a gateway here. There's also a viewing platform. From there, we would plan that visitors would go past the rows of seats. So we're planning out a permanent exhibit, a small one, located at the end of each seat that corresponds to that plan. And the outdoor classroom. For this, we are also proposing better signage because it's impossible to sign right now. These are examples that we've developed. And this is an overview slide. For this visitor center, for this outdoor classroom, what we'd like to do is put our classroom right under the tree. And it's really simple. What we want to do here is expose the structure of the prairie. We think that there's limestone, Niagara, dolomite. Did I get it right this time? A couple feet underneath. And we're proposing to use that as a floor to our outdoor classroom. We also think that there's a potential to do dolomite prairie restoration actually in the classroom on this slab of limestone. And here's some other ideas using natural materials. We need to retain some of the earth. We'd like to look into rammed earth, which is basically removing the organic material from dirt and replacing it with a cementitious material. Again, not bringing many materials in. And then we're proposing a similar cover where we collect rainwater. But the tree would be the focus. And from the tree, you would look out into the seed beds. The other element of the site is the outlook, where we can interpret both the prairie restoration and the prairie materials. What we've done is we've taken, this envisions collecting the telephone poles that are all over the arsenal. Here, an observation tower was made out of telephone poles. We're using other materials that we saw in the derelict buildings. For example, we think we can use the tile walls as a permeable paving. We have a number of ideas. I think one of the things we propose to do is do a better inventory than exists right now before making specific recommendations.
I mean, one thing we noticed is that there's a lot of brick on the site right now, and a lot of it is very irregular, so that would make a very good material for permeable paving because you don't have to match it up or anything. You want to build any structure, use it as something to want.
So we think that the important things are that we interpret the site, that we make it accessible to people so they can understand what's happening, that we're creating an